everybody is actually looking forward to owning a house.
I was very, very happy when I got the application for the house.
Mortgage can actually work in Nigeria.
Good evening. It's great to have you join us again on yet another episode of the program, Everyone Deserves a Home. I am Hadiza Bayero Aliu, still standing in for your regular anchor, welcoming you to another edition of the program. In this episode of the program, we shall walk you through one of the departments of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, which has the duty of coordinating the branch and zonal offices of the bank, and in turn, it ensures that customers are mobilized and retained in the bank, while also striving to meet the needs of these customers through the various mortgage loans the FMBN provides. Later on in the program, our Dream Come True segment will showcase another NHF beneficiary as he shares his home ownership story. But like always, the program will begin with news highlights from the diary of the FMBN. Stay tuned.
To improve transparency and accountability in managing the NHF funds, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has introduced *219#. *219# is a new way to know the status of your NHF contribution from anywhere. To use this service, dial *219#. Select 1 to update your contact detail. Press 2 to check your contribution status in any month up to the last 5 years. You can also use our mortgage calculator and bulletin board by selecting options 5 and 6 respectively. You can access other services by using direct shortcodes like *219*3# to retrieve your NHF number, *219*4*1# to check your last 5 transactions, and *219*4*2# to check your statement of account. No internet connection required, and it is available on all networks. *219#. Simpler, smarter, faster. Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Everyone deserves a home.
Welcome back. The episode will take off with news highlights, and tonight, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria management joins the Housing Ministry in 2024 performance assessment. Stay with us for details of this and other stories.
The Managing Director, Shehu Usman Usidi, alongside other management staff of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, were at the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development for the presentation of performance assessment for the first to third quarter of 2024 on implementation of the presidential priorities and ministerial deliverables. The session was organized by the Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination and the Head Central Delivery Coordination Unit, CDCU, Hadiza Bala Usman, to review and assess the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, its departments and agencies on its activities from the first to third quarter of the year. While welcoming the Special Advisor, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Musa Dengiwa, noted that the ministry, since the beginning of the year, has made steady progress, especially in the area of housing construction all across the country.
Under the New Hope City Statistics Program, which we intend to review now, we currently have construction ongoing for a total of 10,112 housing units at 14 construction sites nationwide. This includes 3,000 housing units in 12 states, estates. In 12 states, at 250 units each, funded under the 2023-50 billion supplementary budget, and 3,612 units for Relief Hope City in the Karsana, which we have just commenced. And then apart from the 1,500 that we are doing in Kano, and then 2,000 that we are doing in Lagos.
He said the ministry and its agencies are working tirelessly to ensure the annual 20,000 housing unit target is met despite economic challenges. He then called on the Central Delivery Coordination Unit to support the ministry by ensuring early release of budgetary allocations so as to enable the ministry and its agencies deliver better and faster. On her part, the Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination and the Head, Central Delivery Coordination Unit, CDCU, Hadiza Bala Usman, while presenting the performance assessment, pointed out the need for the ministry and its agencies to agree on a standardized unit for measuring housing deliverables.
Honourable Minister and PS, we need your support to empower and strengthen the directorate. We have mandated them to MBS to engage with the directors, PRS, to determine the data sets you need, because there's some data sets that you require as Ministry of Housing that MBS doesn't even capture. So you need to notify MBS that we, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, we need you to start capturing this data, because these are the international benchmarks that are used to assess housing penetration, that are used to assess urban renewal penetration. So that way they can start gathering that data to enable us know where we are as a country.
Also speaking, the Managing Director, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Shehu Usman Osidi, noted that the bank has had some progressive engagements with the House Committee on Housing and Habitat on the removal of the single obligor limit imposed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, which has stalled the progress of the bank in many ways. He also noted that once challenges bothering the sector is addressed, the FMBN will make more progress, maintain and even do more as the foremost mortgage institution in the country.
The challenge we have is that, technically speaking, if we talk about mortgages created, we are talking about perfected mortgages. But our understanding is that government wants to know how many people have provided houses, and which means that the perfection process can go on while people are able to get these houses. So we think that it is better to reflect it as number of people benefiting from the NHF scheme, which describes the number of people that are able to take loans and actually buy houses, while the perfection process is going on. So we have been constrained in our reporting that when we report to say mortgages created, because we are not able to provide evidence of perfected mortgages, it is taken that we are not providing mortgages.
In recognition of its contributions to providing housing finance solutions, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria was honored with an award as the Best Housing Finance Solution at the 6th edition of the Africa Housing Awards 2024. Speaking at the occasion, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Dengiwa, recognized the efforts of the current administration in supporting private sector participation as well as its commitment to the provision of affordable houses for Nigerians through the Renewed Hope Cities and Estates program.
This is a historic period in our nation's history, especially for housing and urban development. We are seeing renewed determinations on the part of the government to not only just drive policies that will help this bridge the gap in the housing deficit, initiate also massive housing development programs, and implement a sustainable urban development agenda, but also create a housing environment that supports effective private sector participation.
Speaking earlier, the Managing Director, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Shehu Usman Osidi, commended the Housing Development Advocacy Network for putting up the awards ceremony to recognize the efforts of industry players. He noted that the FMBN is delighted to identify with such initiatives where hard work is recognized.
At the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, it is always a thing of joy for us to identify with events like this, where recognition is being given to worthy individuals and corporate citizens of our great nation. We believe it is important to acknowledge achievements and milestones in all fields of endeavor. This is not only to give people and organizations a sense of fulfillment, but to encourage them to do more for the ultimate benefit of humanity.
Best Housing Finance Solution Award 2020.
Highlights of the occasion featured the presentation of the award of the Best Housing Finance Solution to the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Awards of other categories were presented to individuals and organizations for impacting the housing sector positively.
Axion Microfinance Limited.
Thanks for staying with us. The Field Offices Group of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is responsible for coordinating the activities of field offices of the bank, which make up the branch and zonal offices of the bank. In our next segment, we'll take a look at this department of the FMBN, its duties, as well as its efforts towards ensuring that customers of the bank are satisfied with the services provided. Keep watching.
The Field Offices Group is a key department in the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. It has the responsibility of organizing and coordinating the field offices of the bank. The field offices of the FMBN include both zonal and branch offices. The Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has branch offices in each of the 36 states of the country. The Federal Capital Territory has 2 branches, while Lagos State has 3 branches. This is because of the large number of contributors within these locations. The branch offices of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria are responsible for mobilizing, registering and engaging customers. One way they do this is through sensitization exercises.
You know that in any business, it's important to reach out to your target group, be it the stakeholders or the contributors. When we talk of stakeholders, we talk about the labor, because we do a lot of work with the labor, because the labor, you know, they are the people that direct the affairs of unions. So we are always reaching out to them. We reach out to customers. They're like, we have a lot of customers, even the potential ones that wants to come in, we reach out to them. It's like you have a business, you must keep, you know, selling the business for people to know that this is what you are doing. Even those who are in it already wants to know the new things that are happening there. So you keep sensitizing them to make sure that everybody knows that you are still in business. So sensitization is something that is always there and should always be there.
The bank, through its branch offices, has a responsibility to serve its customers. The branch offices of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria therefore ensure that customers apply for loans, which are now processed by the branch offices for further processing and disbursement by the head office.
We provide loan for people to build, for people to buy, for people to renovate their houses. So because we do this, that is, we try to make sure that our customers, you know, are served very well. And that's what we do. We make sure we provide for houses, for, you know, that with what people are earning now, it's very difficult for any person to put up a house from the earnings that they're making and then add feeding, add other things. No. So it's only when they go through our products, like this, our rent to own, our home renovation loan, our individual construction loan, cooperative loan, only when they go through it, that's when they can be able to afford houses that they can call their own. Because our own interest is very low. It's the least in the whole Nigeria, 6%, single digits. We don't exceed it.
As a way of improving customer service, the FMBN has worked ways of reducing turnaround time for its loans.
As time went on, the bank, you know, we're learning from every delay, we're learning from every mistake, we're learning from every loan we grant to know what makes the turnaround time to be long or whatever. And those things, we have bridged them. One of the things that the bank has done, we have brought in what we call core banking application. This core banking application has made the work easy. You, as a loan seeker, you can apply directly on that platform, and your loan will come. So it doesn't, in fact, the management that we have now, it's every day, or let me call it every day or every other day, they call over for you to know, is there any loan approval that is still standing in your dashboard? You know, every person tries to clear their dashboard so that it is not standing with you. As long as the applications are properly filled, nothing kills them.
One effort the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is making is ensuring that the presence of the bank is felt even in states that are not fully contributing to the National Housing Fund scheme.
Wherever we have our contributors, we try as much as we can to build. There is no state in Nigeria that does not have the presence of Federal Mortgage Bank constructed estates. So what determines the kind of things we do for them is, one, the affordability, two, the number of people that are contributing. And you know, most times actually we even do it even for states that are not even contributing, because we want them to know the Federal Mortgage Bank means what we are doing, because the slogan says everyone deserves a home, and National Housing Fund is for all Nigerians. You understand? So we look at all those things and to make people know that we are still there.
For states that are not fully contributing, the branch offices as well as the head office are already making efforts towards bringing back these states into the National Housing Fund scheme. Despite being non-contributing states, the bank is not leaving out the few contributors there unattended too, and so housing delivery has not stopped in any of such states.
National Housing Fund, through what we are doing, the rent to own, the individual construction loan, home renovation loan, we are making people to gain houses. And like you said, in those states, because we have contributors, we have our presence there. We cannot say because the government hasn't come in fully. No. We make sure that our customers who are already in existence there are served.
The Field Offices Group works closely with the Branch and Zonal offices of the FMBN to ensure that the needs of contributors all over the country are met. Other efforts are in place to see that the bank delivers on its mandate to Nigerians through seamless organization of its services.
If you're just tuning in, the program is Everyone Deserves a Home, brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to showcase its activities and efforts towards providing houses and mortgage loans for Nigerians. The National Housing Fund is about providing homes for Nigerian workers, and in this segment, we bring you the stories of beneficiaries of the NHF scheme as they share their home ownership journey. Keep watching as Biliaminu Hamidu shares his story with us.
I can assure all Nigerians that if you apply, once it is available, you will get.
Definitely the scheme is real.
It's a big testimony to stop paying rent.
Excellent. Seriously excellent.
It works and is real.
Biliaminu Hamidu is a civil servant working in the Federal Capital Territory. Because he is a member of the Golden Lee Cooperative Society, Biliaminu was opportuned to own a one-bedroom apartment in the estate the Cooperative Society developed for its members. After hearing about the National Housing Fund for the very first time, Biliaminu went further to study and do some more research online about the National Housing Fund scheme.
Federal Mortgage Bank was introduced to me by multipurpose cooperative from my office, and I went on my own to the internet and studied a lot about it, where I discovered the advantages of having a house under mortgage. And this particular project was introduced to me by a friend who happened to be a contributor and beneficiary of the same project.
With the knowledge he had about the scheme, Biliaminu quickly took up the opportunity when his friend told him about the estate his cooperative society was developing for its members. And after he picked up a form, he duly followed the necessary process, and today he is a beneficiary of the National Housing Fund scheme.
What I did was I accessed one of the staff of AFRA, and I discussed with him, which he gave me a form. After filling the form, he gave me the list of the documents I need to bring. So after bringing the documents, and he asked me to go and submit them at the Federal Mortgage Bank. After submitting at the Federal Mortgage Bank, I think that's all. So after a few months, I finished all the processes, in fact, and I started deducting the required amount.
Though he is yet to move into his house, he says owning a home to call his is a dream come true for him because he has been a tenant for a long time, which he says has not been easy.
I feel extremely excited because for the period I stay in Abuja, I've been paying rent, and which was not easy to me as a public servant. And being a homeowner has brought pay rent to an end.
He calls on civil servants like himself to key into mortgage, which is an easier means of owning a home.
Mortgage is a good thing, and I urge each and every public servant to acquire one. It actually works, so there is no doubt. If you apply, you will get it. And as a public servant, you find it difficult to save money up to the amount that you can buy a house. But with mortgage, they'll be taking little from your salary, and eventually you become a homeowner.
How can a beneficiary apply for an NHF loan in a state that doesn't have a primary mortgage bank?
That's one of also the challenges we have, because it's not every state that has a primary mortgage. But instantly we see that there is no geopolitical region in the county that doesn't have a primary mortgage. So what we always advise prospective off-takers is that when you have such kind of a problem, you can go to any of our branches within your vicinity and explain this to them. They can easily, introduce you to any of any closest PNB to you. And because these PNBs used to move from one place to the other, even if they are not in your town, they can come from where they are, package you, and then go back. So that's why you need to go to any of our branches, explain to them, and they can introduce you to a PNB that can package your application and then send to FMBN.
To also become a beneficiary of the National Housing Fund scheme, all you need to do is visit any of our offices near you to find out how you can benefit from this scheme. Or you can log onto our website on www.fmbn.gov.ng for more information about us, just like our beneficiary did. Don't forget to also catch up on these and other episodes of Everyone Deserves a Home on our social media platforms currently showing on your screens. Until I come your way again next week, same time on this same station, it's bye for now.